Hey, what's going on? Miguel Lloyd, host of Life Full Circle Radio. And we're going to get into it today as a lot going on. Trump is actually speaking. I guess he's got a speech he's going to do in about 30 minutes, whatever. But, you know, if you're interested, you can find what you want to find because I guess he's going to tell us how great he is the last thing I heard. So in addition to that, a lot of stuff going on as we look at Black MAGA. Black MAGA, that includes Nick Cannon. What's the one who used to date Kanye West back in the day? Anyway, her. Chili from TLC, she about to blow the bag because they just announced this tour with TLC and Salt and Pepper and In Vogue, and then come to find out she's MAGA. And so there's that. So, you know, and she's trying to backpedal and trying to say, well, I just hit it by mistake and I didn't mean to and blah, blah, blah. So talk about that. Birthright citizenship was before the Supreme Court today. And that is has turned into, well, I won't turn into a circus. It's all a circus. The circus continues. And it was a segment where they actually were talking about whether or not Native Americans have citizenship. This world is crazy. Jaden Ivey, NBA basketball player who was cut from the Detroit Pistons, I believe it is.
The Bulls.
The Bulls? Okay, the Bulls. I'm not paying no attention to him. It's not like he got no great numbers. I shouldn't even hear you right now. Interview guest muted. And then we'll get into our how, what, and what are you watching. Social media, make sure you follow us on all the platforms. We are on vertical and horizontal. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. I think both vertical and horizontal on YouTube, which is a new deal that we can do now. We can do that now on because of Ecamm, the product that we use that helps us to stream. And so you can check us out this way or this way and on several platforms. And that's what I want. Super producer.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
I am doing. The twins are 5. Your niece and nephew are 5 years old.
When was their birthday? What'd I miss?
Their birthday is tomorrow.
Okay, I was like, hold on. I think it passed. Okay, April the 2nd. Oh.
April 2nd. Their birthday is tomorrow. We are taking them to Disney because they are old enough to kind of realize it's Disney and be excited about it. So we're all going.
And you guys make sure you wear your little hookah feet or shoes or something that you can walk around so your feet ain't killing you all day.
Oh yeah, I got my old lady on clouds with the thick old soles. It looks like you're walking on stilts.
Absolutely. You better believe it. Because that's how we're going. I look so short today. I don't know what's going on.
How are you? How's basketball season going? Are we around when
basketball season is just starting? We had the last 2 weekends. The team we play for is what you know, and I won't bore you with all this, but it's coming for you. EYBL is the Nike circuit. And
I love how you say it like it's a horror movie.
It's not a horror movie. I love every minute of it, but it's just I'm talking about they have 2 days. I'm talking about Friday night. We were there like an hour north of the city is where we practice because this team Michelle is playing on the team. Michelle and Layla playing on the team that has players that are coming from 6 states. So some really good players are on this team, including our girls. And so because of that, they do weekend workouts instead of having during the week because everybody's not here. A lot of girls that can hoop. There's a lot of girls out here, guys. I'm telling you, there's a lot of girls out here who can hoop, and you're getting ready to see it this summer. And so last 2 weekends we were behind that, and so and then working and got some good stuff. I'll tell you offline, but I'm actually going to be producing a Republicans commercial tomorrow. You'll be proud of me.
I'm actually very excited about that. Now, before anybody who listens gets like, oh, she's MAGA. No. Miguel knows I'm Republican, not MAGA.
No.
But I think that's great. Who's the candidate?
Yeah. I'm not telling you that. Not telling who the candidate is. Because then people start, you know, I'm here. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. And if you remember about a month ago, we produced a form that included several people who are running for governor in the state of Georgia. They were impressed with our work and they said, hey, can you do some commercial work for us? We're like, sure, absolutely. And so we're going to take care of some of that tomorrow. We'll be out in Buckhead and it's cool. I met the guy Here's the thing. My man, Omar Ali, who I produced, it was his event that I produced for
Mhm.
him, along with young lady by Tamisha Harris, who works directly with Isaac Hayes III, and she's got her own personality and ability. She works at CNN, and she's also a producer. Um, and Omar said, "We'll get you to vote for a Republican this year." I said, okay, let's see.
No, it's not. That's not going to happen. So even I know that. So
Here's the
yeah,
thing.
there's
I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. When I say businessman, I kind of think like business people are like people who making they're really doing big things. We're not quite there yet, right? So I'm an entrepreneur, and we know this. And if you don't know this, black folk who are watching, or white folk, or Hispanic, or whoever watches the show, your business will do a little bit better when Republicans are in office if you play by their rules, because they're always going to do things that are going to benefit business all the time.
yes.
So you better figure out how to work within those confines and make your business grow and make your business shine. And so and that's what I've learned from people. I've been in this space in entrepreneurial advocacy for entrepreneurship for a lot of years. So yeah, man, and I met the folks and some folks, and I know, and I've had the story. We told the story about me going to NRA stuff and all that stuff because of some of the
Yes, I
Republican
remember
friends
the
that I
Ari story.
have, and a whole lot of stuff. So when it's all said and done, if you for me, we can work it out, and my
Yeah.
people, we can work it out. But anyway,
Well, it's
let's
actually
move
a
on.
perfect segue though, in talking about Black MAGA. So
Black MAGA. So this week, Chili has come out, and she basically is about to mess up a whole tour.
yeah, and there's the chili situation is kind of multi-layered. So the first layer is people discovered that she had made donations to two different nonprofits. Let me see what the names of them are. Hold on one second. I want to make sure we're clear about the nonprofits because one of them is to stop child sex trafficking, and the other one is supporting veterans. Okay, so on Saturday, the Independent reported that a Rosonda Thomas of Stone Mountain, Georgia, made donations to the Trump National Committee (JFC) Joint Fundraising Committee and Never Surrender Inc., a political fundraising group linked to Trump, according to the Federal Election Commission records reviewed by the outlet. Now, Chili said that her dad is a veteran. Everyone knows that I love children, and that's why she made these two donations. Now,
Hmm.
what I will say in her defense in this aspect is we all donate to a lot of nonprofits, and we have no idea what those nonprofits do to support in a large way. We don't know. We find out after the fact or if somebody reveals the information.
Hmm.
So, about that aspect, what are your thoughts?
Yes, you donate to now, but these are not just nonprofits. These are nonprofits that are directly linked to Donald Trump, and that's part of where the heat is coming from for
Not
her.
Never Surrender. Never Surrender is
True.
not directly linked to Trump. Never Surrender is like a political fundraising group that's owned by a friend of a friend who donates to Trump. That's the second one. The first one, the Committee for JFC, is owned by a subsidiary of the Trump organization.
So there's conversation supposedly between Chile and T-Boz that goes back to the 2016 election, where T-Boz was publicly questioning Chile's affiliation and support of Donald Trump. That's also in the space.
Hmm.
So here's the thing about these celebrities, man. They see money, they make money. They see money, they don't keep money. And then it's easy for them to run around and get into these circles of people to say, "Hey, you come down here and hang out with us. You do these shows, you do these parties, and you sing and you dance, and cause I creep, yeah." And they love it and they dance and everything, and
What I
right.
do.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, "Well, these folks aren't too bad." And like we've talked about it on this show, and I'm going to repeat this, and this is going to be our mantra, right? It's not about not liking white people. It's not about liking white supremacy. Plenty of white folks that are good people. Period. Point blank. When the people
Mhm.
who benefit from white supremacy who act like they don't, and that's a whole different conversation. So why did I bring that up? She can hang out, love, and be who she wants to be with. That's her life. In this
Absolutely.
day and age, the difference between a Republican, a pure conservative Republican, and a maggot is stark.
It's
Um,
stark.
you know,
As
we,
someone who is a conservative who does think there's a lot of changes that a lot of issues that the Democratic Party has kept black people behind. That's me, but the MAGA universe, that's a whole different thing. Where one, I always say, Trump is not a Republican. He is not conservative. What he is extremely charismatic. He's good at marketing. He's good at going after the people who are going to believe in him the strongest, regardless of what it is. And that's why he goes after poor whites. Poor whites are his biggest supporters.
Yeah, well,
So
maybe,
mm,
maybe.
that's
They're definitely a big part of his base, without question. But I think it's the gullible, the working class, the working class whites are definitely a big part of his base, right? And they're not poor. A lot of them are not poor.
well, I mean, not poor like West Virginia. I sleep with my cousin poor. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I think of poor. I mean, like middle
Sorry, West
class.
Virginia.
Sorry. Like my mama friends. My mama friends aren't poor, but they're not wealthy. They're regular, everyday.
Correct.
Because my mom had a huge rude awakening when Charlie Kirk died. She found out how many of her friends were actually MAGA, and it was terrifying for her. Like she could not believe it. But also, there's a second part to this.
Hmm.
So somehow, Chili reposted an image or a post or a meme saying that Michelle Obama is a man who transitioned, and that whole trope they always
That
say
whole
about her,
trash, right? Correct.
which I
Right.
hate that. She reposted it. And people, of course, she's saying her phone was blowing up and blah, blah, blah. I can't, why would you post this? And she's like, well, I didn't know where the button was and I'm not computer savvy. Fine. I can go with all of that except for one thing. Chili, why is that coming up in your Instagram feed? Your Instagram feed is based off of things that you like, that you're interested in. Even when it goes on that 30-day spin of, hey, we think you might like this stuff, and it starts showing you random stuff they think you might like, and you can turn it off and keep it on. Why
Hmm.
is that image and that type of stuff in your feed if you are not MAGA?
Hey, good question. You
I
have
mean,
control over you have people act like they don't have control over what they see. It's so funny. I just recently always buying stuff whatever for work. And I bought a filter for HD filter, I mean ND filter for my camera. Uh and now all I'm seeing is ND filter ads that are popping up all up and down my feed.
because that's what happens. Oh, my hair's
Yeah.
bothering me. That's what happens. So that means that you have gone on multiple things on Twitter, Instagram. You're looking at other people's posts, and now the filter is feeding you. That means you are looking at some really, really crazy stuff. If you are
Hmm.
getting Michelle Obama is transgender memes on Instagram, Twitter maybe because MAGA's all through Twitter, but on Instagram. And the whole thing of I'm not computer savvy and my thumb just hit it, is that is that
Well,
what we're doing here?
here's the thing about celebrities, and we give celebrities a lot more credit. It's Chili TLC were famous. Now she's a lot older than people realize. She's older than me.
She's
Um,
58.
is she
Isn't she
58?
58? I think
I
she's
don't know. Is she
58.
that old? But she might be. And so
55. She's
55.
55.
That sounds more right because I'll be 54 this year. So, but they were in the game when they were super young. She doesn't
Mhm.
have a lot of formal
Teenagers.
education, right? And so and really from the time that she was a late teenager, she has been influenced by a culture that is, it ain't us. It's the business. And so who knows what she loves? Who knows what she kind of engages with? Who knows who she's been on vacations with and who's done parties and who has fed her lifestyle all these years? Um,
Well, we know she's not very attached to her blackness because I remember in an interview someone called her a beautiful chocolate woman and she was very offended and wanted to be called caramel, which I always think is stupid when people do. It's dessert. Stop it. She's also dating Matthew Lawrence from the show Blossom and Joey, and remember that whole
you you
remember
you you you
Blossom?
you want crickets, don't you?
Yeah, that's fine. I understand. I earned the crickets. But y'all remember Blossom and Blossom's little brother and all those kids. Well, she's dating that white boy, the 90s heartthrob white boy. She's dating
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah, I was too old for. By the time the '90s, I was purely in hip hop, and so
But
yeah.
the reason why I bring this up is because I feel like Chili has always kind of had a weird identity crisis to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we can go on to the next person
Chili.
before
When
we
I when
talk
I
about
look
the
at those
bottom.
three, when I look at
Mhm.
those three, and I'm talking about the original members, T. Bob, Left Eye, and Chili. Left Eye always was the most relatable to me, but that comes from where they from. I'm from Virginia, which I'm much more relatable. I relate much more to the East Coast than I did to the South, right? So she's from Philly. She gives me that Philly energy. I love me and women from Philly. We've always just vibe. We've always rocked. We've always been real cool. So she always was the dopest to me. T-Boz feels so much Atlanta. She feels very Atlanta. She always felt very Atlanta, right? Um, Chili always came off to me as the cheerleader who, you know what I mean,
Who
who
got
could
dropped in Atlanta out of nowhere.
and who could rock with any, you know, she's comfortable in a lot of different spaces because she assimilates into different cultures. So this doesn't surprise me. But what comes to me when I first saw the video, when her doing her apology, and I saw the look on her face, and I said, "Wow, she really realizes that and mind you, this is coming off of me just last weekend, and I've been anticipating this for the last 6 months. That doggone New Edition, Boys to Men, Tony Braxton show was amazing, right? So now everybody says, "Oh, this works," because that show was New Edition singing backup for Boys to Men singing backup for Tony Braxton. It was a 3-hour just bonanza show. So now T-Boz, now TLC and In Vogue and Salt and Pepper says, "Oh, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go on tour. We're going to do the same thing." And then here comes Chili.
And I was going to talk about that last when we talk about the other two people, but you're right. But do you want to talk about Nick Cannon? Because I want to talk about the bottom line as a whole and to see, does it even matter?
Well, here's the difference, and we can talk. Let's move over to Nick Cannon and Amber Rose is the name I was trying to catch earlier.
Okay.
But the money that T-Boz and Chili and TLC, the fact that they've still toured for the last, rest in peace, Left Eye, who's been gone now for, I guess she's pushing 30 years. I think she wasn't too far behind Tupac and Biggie.
It hasn't been 30 years. It's been about 15.
No, it's been more than 15.
That she's been gone?
Yes. I'm sure that I'm almost certain it's been 20. Look it up. I'm almost certain Left Eye's been gone for 20. But point being that their personality of TLC was all about, Big Time was about Left Eye. She was the personality of that.
2002?
Yeah. It's almost 25 years. So the fact that they're still popular enough to still be touring, still getting out here, and now this is probably going to be one of the biggest opportunities for them to be able to tour out here, and she just blew it. Now, Nick Cannon and Amber Rose is a different story. Nick Cannon is he makes his money by getting attention. Amber Rose, which was interesting enough, it was a time when Amber Rose used to rock the bald head, and she got the body that she's got, amazing body when she was young, when she was dating Kanye West. She looked much more like a light-skinned black woman then.
Well, the video's in there if you want to go to that after this, but I agree with you.
Now she got the long blonde. She is embracing because she is biracial. She is embracing her whiteness for sure. But she's always been a cosplay. She's always going to run to whatever side, and then she went MAGA. And I'm getting the pinwheels there. My computer's still acting crazy, so I'm not going to pull up any joints.
So the video that I was going to show is basically showing Nick Cannon and Amber Rose in a car.
Yeah.
And they're talking about politics, which weird. And Amber Rose basically says the Democrats don't care about black people. The Republican Party does. Nick Cannon goes on to agree with her and say that people don't know that the Republican Party was the party that freed the slaves, the party that was pro-black. And
God, I'm so tired of these lazy intellectuals. It's so annoying. But go ahead.
And he just goes on, and and then he says, Trump's not doing a bad job. They start going into that whole diatribe. And let me just be clear. Nick Cannon saying that nobody knows that the Republican Party was a party that freed the slaves. Everybody who went to high school U.S. government, every high schooler who graduated, who had history class, knows this. This is not some secret the Democrats are hiding from anybody. That's not a secret. It's not.
But the ones who are watching Wildin' Out and these other crap shows that are on TV, a lot of them are ignorant. They have not been taught. You are of a you'll always be my little sister, right? Well, you're of a certain age now too, kid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean you're of a certain age.
Don't say it like that.
There's a lot of these youngers out here who are not getting this level of education at all. They're not. Yeah. They're not getting it. And so we are assuming that they're getting this type of education. And it's not happening. And so it's easy for you to come out here and say, "Oh, Like as a big revelation. The Southern strategy, 1950s, uh,
But
racist
it was before
Republicans,
that.
racist Democrats became racist Republicans. They just flipped the script. That was
The
already
fact that
that.
the fact that Nick Cannon is talking about something from that Lincoln freed the slaves, we're talking about hundreds of years ago. There's a lot of transition that happened between Lincoln freeing the slaves and where we are in 2026.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there was three stages of the switch. The early switch happened in 1930.
Right.
The major switch happened between the civil rights movement with Lyndon Johnson, LBJ, and RFK Jr. And then the final switch happened when Reagan was elected. So there's phases to this, people switching over from the Republican and Democratic Party. But we all are aware that at a certain point, Republicans were pro slavery is awful. It should not exist. Black people should.
Martin Luther King Sr. was a Republican. A lot of black folks were Republicans in the 1920s and 30s and 40s. That is
Absolutely, a
not
thousand percent.
that is not new news. And so you talking all this, you're comparing that age of Republicans to this age of Republicans. It's just like,
It
dude,
is
shut up.
different.
This is not the Redskins. This is not the Cowboys. This is not the Lakers. This is real life. These are ideologies. This is not about
Yeah.
who's a Democrat or a Republican. It's about ideologies and who's trying to keep the thumb. But when you have been wealthy for as long as Nick Cannon has been wealthy, and when you've been a gold digger as long as Amber Rose has been a gold digger, they've been around money, and those are the people who have been putting money in their pockets for a long time. And so now someone is telling them to go out there and say this crap, and they're doing it.
And listen, the Republicans really care about black people line. I'm a Republican, and I think the Republican Party prior to Trump even existing was completely different than what we have now. They may not have been perfect.
You
You can
reaching
him
there.
and all you
You are
want to.
reaching there. You are reaching
I
there.
am
But
not.
go ahead.
We're not going to do this in front
Yes,
of
we
other.
are. You the one who said it. But go ahead. Finish your thought.
I'm sorry. The Republican Party to me, pre-Trump, was not as what it is now. You have to
Well, of
agree to
course,
leave
it's not
that.
what it is now, but of course, it's not. There's nothing in my lifetime or many of the people's lifetime. No one who's living has ever seen what we're going through right now. This guy went over, started a war. He had no idea why he started it.
I'm
Now,
talking about the blatant racism. I'm talking about the fact
the
that there are
blatant
actual.
racism is always it's always
No,
been
it
here.
hasn't.
It has
No,
too. What are you talking
none.
about?
I'm talking about blatant racism where people are allowed to walk through cities with Nazi flags. That was not happening
It,
prior
it
to Trump.
was. It,
It was.
it absolutely was. Are you serious? Yes, it was.
It was.
Absolutely was.
Name it. When have we seen a time like this prior to Trump where there are Nazi flags? I'm talking about modern times. I'm not where it was completely
What do you
acceptable.
consider in modern times? In
Modern
my entire
times
lifetime,
from
this has existed. It's just much more on the forefront now because there's TV and there's social media.
what I'm
These
saying.
people ain't
No,
been
no, it's
nowhere,
acceptable.
huh?
Okay, so somebody back in like let's say the early 1995 to 2000, I can't even think of when Trump came in office, could say the N word to somebody and everybody was cool with it. It was fine. Nazis could come out in the streets in March. Nazis could come out in the streets
Yes,
in March.
yes. Could they?
When did that
You could. They
happen?
could always could. They just didn't because they were scared. They're
Okay,
not
well
scared no
maybe
more.
that's what I'm trying to say. Not that they couldn't, but that they at least they were closeted.
And they still are relatively closeted. If they wanted to be, bring your behind to Atlanta.
He almost cussed.
Bring your butt to Atlanta. Go to downtown Baltimore. Go to Philly. Go to places where there's large concentration of people who don't look like them. They make a lot of that noise when they did all that walking around UVA in Charlottesville because that's a safe space they can go out there and the cameras will make them look like they're bigger than they are. It's that stuff has always been around. But the thing about it is that most of us, we don't live in those areas where we
I
have to
do.
see that and deal with that on the regular. And you do, but relatively, but that's not. And then the level of the level of decency that we were living with is gone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The level of decency.
Yeah.
Democrats and Republicans could get along and work together. If me as a black person said I was a black Republican, I would get a side eye, like you're weird. But now you get a full out, bitch. Are you insane? Like, what is wrong with you? How could you? Which is what Nick is getting. Amber has been getting since she got on that Republican national stage. Nicki
Hmm.
Minaj is getting nonstop.
Hmm.
Chili is getting
But
that
but
tour.
they're not
They're
doing it.
going
They're
to have
not.
to put them off that tour. We know that, right? They're going to have to
Huh?
put TLC off that tour.
We'll see. Because here's the thing: TLC will still be a huge draw. Like, for example, that New Edition show that we just went to, I watched. It was 95, 98% black folks, but it's Atlanta. But the folks who were white that was there, they enjoyed Tony Braxton, they enjoyed Boys to Men more, and they enjoyed more the ballads. Those are the pop things. Those are the songs that were more pop and mainstream, right? When it comes down to them, there was probably many of them who had never been to a New Edition show before in their lives because it was not too. Think about how long, for 30 years, Boys to Men had been mainstream and doing Vegas, and they were in that pop space over
Yeah.
here to the right.
Yeah.
And they made this decision that it was time to come back and reconnect with who you are, right? At least from the standpoint of the culture and where you were raised and who you are. Because now it was time to reconnect with that. Because they did a whole poll at the beginning, you 40 plus, DJs, you 40 plus in the room, 30 plus. The in that New Edition Boys to Men Tony Braxton concert, the largest group of people that were there were 50 and up.
Yeah.
And they and the second show of those 50 and ups that started, and they told you. Now, I've been hearing it the whole time. Okay, the show starts. They told people the show starts at 7 o'clock. The show really starts at 8 o'clock because they know black folks love to be late. Okay. And so they waited. They said 7 o'clock. They said 8 o'clock. Black folks in Atlanta really got in there by 7:45. Black folks in Atlanta ain't on time for nothing. But they done been in these internet streets and they just like, yo, we not because they've got this big number to do at the beginning because they got a new song out that's all three of them. New Edition, Boys to Men, Tony Braxton. Point being, they're going to try to replicate that. And now with the loss of streaming revenue, of physical sales of music revenue, the small amounts of streaming revenue, the way that these people are making money are these expensive tickets for these shows, for these tours. And she just probably blew it. That's why Salt is coming out, and Salt has been saying, Chili, it's all good, it's all good, whatever.
On what planet is Salt helpful?
Salt's been in the game 40 years.
That's not the point. A lot of people are already mad at Salt because how they treated Spinderella. That I didn't realize that was a huge issue in the black community. Apparently, it's a massive issue in the black community.
Absolutely. Spinderella's been around since the second album. So,
and they acted like she never existed, which is messed up. Also, the other thing is that Salt, though she is not saying it, I've heard from circles that Salt is also MAGA. It's not like it's a shocker. That's not a shock.
There's no shocker to me. Anything. Salt looks nothing like she looked in 1985. You put a picture up of Salt in 1985, and you look at her in 2026. You're like, these are two different people.
She looks like Jamal Bryant's future ex-wife.
Here we go. Here we go. Jamal always got to catch a stray. You always got to catch a stray. But so when it's all said and done, when you start talking about Salt and not even, you know what, I've been saying Salt this whole time. It's not Salt, it's Pepper. And Salt was the one who came out talking about she was supporting Chili. Salt started doing music with No, I'm in my mind it's Pepper who is the one who looks nothing like she looked in. Now Salt still looks pretty much like herself. But Pepper looks like a whole different. She looks like a whole different person. Right, and so there's a level of authenticity that is on this tour that I just went to go see. That was just holding on by a thread with this new tour between TLC and Vogue, because En Vogue got a whole different set of problems. And so, really, of the groups that were there, the one that was supposed to be the safest one was TLC. Oh, well, she done blew that up. So now let's see how that tour does. In the meantime, in the other 90s music, Kid Rock had an Apache helicopter flying by his crib. And
there's one more person who we really don't care about, but I'll bring it up. It's Tristan Thompson, who was Khloe Kardashian's ex-boyfriend, baby daddy. Don't nobody give a damn about Tristan Thompson. The reason why I bring him up,
I don't know if he's still on the NBA roster or not. He still hangs around.
So.
He's a big body and he still needs the bread. But yeah,
he needs the bread. And he's also one thing I will give him is that he's an amazing brother to his younger brother, who's a special needs child who
Okay.
had something happen during birth, and him and Chloe actually take care of him, and he's very happy.
So
And
he's
that
he's still with Chloe.
no, they're not together. She actually is just like the pseudo stepmom to that special needs child,
Okay.
even though the situation is not
So
together.
because you
Yeah.
follow them and I don't give a damn about them. So but who what men have had relationships with the Kardashians and came out better on the other side?
Oh, I don't have a response. Like you said, better on the other side,
They
because
came
even
out better
even
on the other
Timothy
side.
Chalamet, Timothy Chalamet is not doing well, and he's dating Kylie, and he's not doing well neither. You know who Timothy Chalamet is?
No, I think I do.
Okay.
I think I do. He's played a superhero or something, right? Or
No, he hasn't.
who is he? Then I don't know who he is.
Well, what I'm saying is no man has voted
No,
well
I need
being a
you to
part
tell
of
me.
the
I need you to get me
Kardashians.
there. How should I know Timothy Chalamet is his name?
How would you know
I know he's an
Timothy
actor.
Chalamet?
What does he start in?
Oh Jesus! Not hold on. I gotta
Come on,
Google.
quick,
Hold on. Wait.
quick.
Shalamat. Okay. Oh, he spells his name weird too. Timothee with a little thingy over the e.
A little
That's a
thingy, little thingy. Okay,
the little
all
thing.
right.
Let's see. He was. Do you watch the Dunes? The Dunes series, which I love.
I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. Keep going, keep
Stop!
going, keep
No.
going, keep going,
Did you watch
keep
the
going.
Willy Wonka? The new Willy Wonka? Did you watch the new Willy Wonka?
I'm hitting my crickets every time. Go ahead. What else?
Oh my god. this
What else you
is
got?
like this is like
What
being
else you got? What else you got?
hold on. I'm trying to like find new stuff that you would know. Oh my god. Marty Supreme?
Oh, that's the movie that was just out that was supposed to beat out
A
Sinners.
Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie?
I did want to see the Bob Dylan movie for some reason. I think I was like slightly curious about that.
Call Me by Your Name, which I watched that movie and actually was very good. Don't watch it. It's not you and your wife's cup of tea, but
Okay,
it
I
was
appreciate
very
that. Thank you for not wasting that time. I appreciate that.
I don't
So anyway, so that was the point there. All right, so let's move on. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm over here. I'm on the struggle
but
button.
no,
I'm
there's
about
no
time to
man
get
that's
another
done
computer
well.
over here.
Apparently, Lamar Odom's documentary came out today, Untold, about his drug addiction, being an athlete, and him being with Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Once again, you're proving my point. Those women, boy, they run through some. They run, and a lot of them are black. They run through them brothers, boy.
A lot of them are black, and all of them end up crazy. Look at Kanye West, even though he was manic bipolar, off his meds. They drove Lamar Odom to crack. Their brother Robert Kardashian don't even come out in public anymore.
Oh, he the one that gained a lot of weight, right?
Yeah, Kylie Kardashian's other baby's daddy is Tyga. I don't know what Tyga's doing. He could be around. Who knows?
Well, they wet him, boy. If y'all don't stay away from that doggone, if y'all don't stay away from them doggone Kardashians, boy, I swear for goodness.
And
All
Kim
right.
wonders why men, and this is the funny thing that I saw the other day, there were men at the Oscars, there was pictures of the Oscars after party, and men were avoiding her like the plague. They're like, "No, I'm cool. No, I'm okay."
And them women are wealthy. That whole family, that whole family is loaded, and people are still like, man, nah, I'm good. I think I like.
So let's
women.
talk Jaden Ivey. Can we talk a little Jaden Ivey?
Yeah, let's talk Jaden Ivey. And like I said, there you go acting like you don't cuss again, Ron. Boy, you funny. My man's in them. I'm just, everything is wild in the day. I can't pull up my comments on the screen or nothing. So anyway, Jaden Ivey plays. You said he plays for the Chicago Bulls. Okay, I said he plays for the Chicago Bulls. He averaged about 0.7 points per game and a half a rebound per game. And so he came out and he was talking about our good Lord and Savior, but then he started talking about, look at this thing just popping up crazy up on my screen. So but then he I don't understand why don't we just leave these people alone, man? Why don't we just, and I know you like, why is that across the screen? Because my computer is acting crazy today, so we're just gonna ignore it. We're gonna act like it ain't
I'm gonna
doing
keep.
what it's doing.
I'll go. So NBA player Jaden Ivey went on social media tirade after being waived from the Chicago Bulls on Monday. The Bulls claim Ivey was waived for conduct detrimental to the team after he made comments critical of Pride Month, citing his Christian faith. In a series of Instagram live posts, Ivey gave his thoughts on being waived by the Bulls. They're liars, bro. They're lying, he said on an Instagram live. They're lying, saying that my conduct is detrimental to the team. That's a lie. Ask any one of them coaches in there, was I a good teammate? Am I preaching about Jesus Christ? And they waived me. They say I'm crazy, right? I'm psycho. Yeah, you are. I can't go to my job and do it. Miguel can't go to his job and do it. You can't go to your job and do it. Also, let's stop bothering people on Pride Month. Pride Month has happened every year for the last.
Pride Month in June. We ain't even there yet.
We're not even there yet for the last, but I'm pretty sure what he's probably talking about is that they probably got like the itinerary schedule for Pride Month to know what's coming up, whatever, fine. And listen, Jaden Ivey, like a lot of people, have what I call toxic religion. It is one thing to be Christian. I'm Christian, Miguel is Christian. My faith means the world to me. It means everything to me. And I understand what the Bible says. But to go online and start saying the word righteousness over and over and over and over again, like he was on his little diatribe, it means that you're not actually Christian and that you just have toxic religion. What are your thoughts, Miguel?
We are living in an era that, man, these people are wearing this stuff like a badge, man. And I'm just like, at this point, you don't have to tell everybody who you believe is going to hell. The rappers are going to hell. The gay people are going to hell. All this nonsense. How about you mind your business? How about we do that, right? And that's the challenge. Are you frozen? Okay, I'm at the end of this broadcast because it's tripping. But we got to get to that point where we just kind of letting people live, and I get it, and I know there's a reason why people think that they need to make themselves known, and but this situation, and once again, he wasn't producing either. That there's that part too. He wasn't really producing very well on the basketball court, so there's that. All right. I'm getting the pinwheel over here. I don't know what's going on with this computer. Been working on it all day and it ain't acting right. So I'm about to end this broadcast, and she's frozen anyway. So there's that. In live now.